Today on Judge Faith, a battle between besties turned into bullying when they posted their rent disputes on Facebook.
It eventually got to the point where I had to go buy locks for my doors because I was sick of my things being taken out of my room.
I had to find out through Facebook. She had the nerve to like a status she had posted, "Bye Felicia." Do you know what "Bye Felicia" means?
Well, that is your name. That is your name is Felicia.
Yes.
What does "Bye Felicia" mean to you?
Basically, it means the B word.
Most of the time it means they're so irrelevant you don't even want to say their name or care to know their name, so you just say "Bye Felicia."
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Ashley Anderson says her former roommate walked out on a 2-year lease, leaving her with lots of unpaid bills. She's suing for past due rent and various fees. Defendant Felicia Burton says she doesn't owe anything because once they became roommates, her former friend's lifestyle made her feel unsafe.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is a case of Anderson versus Burton.
Thank you, Juan. Okay, Ashley Anderson,
Yes, ma'am.
you are suing the defendant Felicia Burton for $5,563 for half of a re-rental fee, a lease buyout, and past due rent?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so why don't we start from the beginning? I take it from your complaint and answer that the two of you were roommates.
Yes.
How did you first meet?
We first met when Felicia was transferred to my salon that I was the manager at. I was looking to buy a house where eventually we started looking at apartments as well.
So you decided to become roommates?
Correct.
Okay, and had you been friends outside of work?
Not very, no. In April, we signed a lease together, and it was
April of what year?
April of 2014.
Okay, and do you have a copy of that?
I do.
Let me see it, please. So you signed a lease. Was it for 1 year or 2?
2 years.
2 years. So you decided to move in. Can you describe the apartment to me?
I mean, it was beautiful. 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It was, I believe, the first apartment to be fully updated, if I'm not mistaken. Brand new carpets, brand new hardwood floors.
And what was the arrangement in terms of rent?
We were each going to pay half. So it was in the lease, the rent, and then also in the lease, the cable was included.
Okay, so a total of $1,490, the two of you would split, and I see the two of you are the only names on the lease. So what happens after you move in? I understand you started having some problems.
It was like I said, it was a 2-year lease. We didn't even really make it 3 months. After the first 1 to 2 months, there was a time where she needed help with the rent, so I gave her, I believe it was like $60 to $80, which she did pay me back. Mm-hmm. Later throughout, I'd come home and go to take a shower, and my shampoo and conditioner wasn't in there, so I'd go into her bathroom where it was in her bathroom. It eventually got to the point where I had to go buy locks for my doors because I was sick of my things being taken out of my room.
What's going on here?
Okay, we had agreements when we first moved in. What's yours is yours, but if you want to use it, ask. I did ask Miss Ashley Marker, if I could use her stuff. Yes, that's fine. Funny thing is, all these little things that she is saying that I did, I had to find out through Facebook. I was never there half of the time. I was always at my boyfriend's because I did not feel safe in that apartment.
Why didn't you feel safe?
The people that she was bringing in all the time.
What do you mean by that?
They are people that I do not hang out with. People that have, from her words, have been in jail. We had agreements that no drugs in the place.
Hold on a second, go ahead.
No drugs in the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
There have been plenty of times, because my boyfriend went to work early in the morning. He's a welder. I would go back to the apartment. The place reeked of weed.
Did you see paraphernalia?
I did not, but
you,
as far as the smell was there.
Weed in the apartment?
I do not smoke weed.
Were your friends smoking weed?
Not to
I'm
my-
going to assume that means yes.
I don't know. There was one person that was sometimes there when I was not, if they did when I was not there at work.
I mean, did
That
you
is a
smell weed?
possibility.
If she said she smelled it, did you smell weed?
I have before, but I've smelt it through the hallways. I don't necessarily know that it's from my friend specifically.
Coming up on Judge Faith, she had 99 problems, and Felicia was number 1.
She had filled out this thing that she wanted me to sign, and I signed it because I wanted her to leave. I was done with
So
her
this
messes
thing
and everything
could
like
possibly
that.
be a contract between the two of you?
It could possibly be, yes.
Now, you ladies have made a bit of a mess here.
Plaintiff Ashley Anderson says her former friend and roommate agreed to split the cost of breaking their lease early and now refuses to pay. She's suing for past due rent and various fees. Defendant Felicia Burton says she doesn't owe anything because Ashley agreed to find a friend to replace her on the lease.
You say that someone else moved in. There are only two of you on the lease. You say someone else moved into the apartment?
It was her coming up to me all the time. How would you feel if so-and-so moved in? That's fine. They have to be on the lease.
But did someone else actually move in?
Pretty much, and they were not in the lease. They
Who's
did
that
not
person?
Sign. Her friend.
Okay.
She confronted me and said, my friend is about to be evicted because of lack of paying rent, of her boyfriend not paying rent, and she has a 4-year-old daughter. Being a nice person, I did agree.
Okay,
I said
so
yes.
your friend and the 4-year-old daughter moved into the 2-bedroom
Yes, I did.
apartment. Okay, and did you have her put on the lease?
We tried putting her on the lease, and that
Who's
didn't
we?
go. We, all three of us, me, Felicia, and the other.
And what happened?
She was not, her credit wasn't good enough.
So the
or
landlord
something
said
like that.
no?
Yes.
But you let her move in anyway?
She was staying there before that. We had filled it out.
But you
and
let her
then
move in anyway?
She was
You let her
staying
stay there anyway?
She was
Although the
staying there,
landlord
yes.
said no?
She said no after my friend was already
Doesn't
staying
matter
there.
when she said no. She said no, and your friend didn't move out. She stayed there anyway, right?
Yes.
Okay. So where was this this woman and her child sleeping, the 4-year-old? Where were they sleeping?
They were staying in the living room, and also I never had my boyfriend staying there. When that friend was staying there, my boyfriend had to be at home. He could not stay there.
Okay.
This is a different boyfriend.
So what happened? When do you move out? And
This is a very different boyfriend, though.
how do you know what boyfriend she's talking about? You haven't.
I know a lot that you would not believe. This boyfriend that was staying pretty much at the apartment, that I'm basically saying that the place reeked of weed, is because of him. I do have text messages from her saying that he is going to change, he is going to stop selling.
Oh, what was he selling?
I honestly don't know.
So you said he's going to stop selling, and you don't know what he's selling?
I don't know. This is what I heard things through his family where I had confronted him about it. And
Was he selling used cars? Was he selling, what was he selling?
I don't know.
Juan, you're a police officer. So when you hear someone say he's going to change, he's going to stop selling, what do you take that to mean?
In my line of work, we call that narcotics.
You live in Minnesota, and I know that medical marijuana is illegal in your state, so do you have a prescription? Did any of your friends have a prescription that you know
Not
of?
that I'm aware of.
Can I also state something else, ma'am? As far as the Facebook, she had the nerve to like a status that one of her friends that was staying there, she had posted, bye Felicia. Now, do you know what bye Felicia means?
Well, that is your name. That is your name is Felicia.
Yes. The day
so
I
you were
moved
moving
out,
out. You moved out.
Yes, the
And
day
so
I
the
moved
day
out.
after one of your.
The day I moved out.
So.
The day I moved out.
Okay. What does bye Felicia mean to you?
Honestly, it is a big saying that is going around. Basically, it means the B word. The
So that's
person
not
you
my
do not
understanding
like,
of bye
the person
Felicia.
you
But
do
your
not
name
like.
is Felicia.
Yes, ma'am.
All they said was bye Felicia.
Yes,
So-
in capital letters.
So bye Felicia is, I know it from the movie Friday. That's the
Exactly.
movie that I know it
Me
from.
as
Which
well.
When they
means
got
now,
bye Felicia.
now it means.
And but I don't know that it means the B word. Most of the time it means you're dismissing someone. You're either dismissing what they're saying or you're dismissing them, but they're so irrelevant you don't even want to say their name or care to know their name. So you just say bye Felicia.
But everybody does know.
But Felicia
it
is your
as-
name.
Yes, ma'am. And I do agree 100% of the way. But it is known by thousands and thousands and thousands of people. The saying, "Bye, Felicia," when you do not agree with somebody,
right,
or you basically do not like them, your
so
name
you're saying
changes
that
to Felicia, which means the B word.
Okay. You're saying that they weren't saying "bye, Felicia" to you in a nice way because it's your name. They were saying
meaning
it
in a
other
very,
way. Okay,
very
on Facebook.
intrusive way.
And who wrote that "bye, Felicia"?
It was the other person that at the time was staying there.
Okay, and she had moved out at that point. Felicia had moved out,
And
okay.
you liked it. The status.
All right,
The status. Yes, I did.
It does not matter. I felt very intruded by you. I did not feel safe.
You say she owes you rent and she owes you for a breach of some kind of loan agreement. But she moves out. What happens? Why does she owe you back rent?
Because when she moved out, she had filled out this thing that she wanted me to sign. And I signed it because I wanted her to leave. I was done with her messes and everything like that.
So this thing could possibly be a contract between the two of you?
It could possibly be, yes.
May I have a copy of that, please? And what did it say? What was going on here?
She had asked me to sign it, so like if there was an eviction or something like that, she wouldn't be liable, which I signed so she'd leave. At the same time, the apartment still held.
So you wanted her to leave?
I did, because I didn't want the mess there and everything like that. And you know, she would still bring the drama to work. I'd try to leave it at home. I had to talk to her about that other times at work. After that, I was paying the rent by myself. The friend that was staying there, she had ended up leaving. She was paying $400 so that the two of us would be able to pay a little less. In December, she had wanted to move back into the apartment.
So you signed this agreement. So the two of you signed this agreement, and you're basically saying she's no longer responsible for the rent. She has no further obligations with this apartment. You have someone else who's going to move in. I mean, you say she asked you to sign it, but I mean, you're an adult. The two of you got this apartment together. You signed the lease. You read the lease. I'm assuming you read this, right? She didn't force you to sign it. You didn't sign it under duress. So I'm assuming you signed it of your own free will.
Right. That also states that she's not reliable if I were to get another person on the lease, which never happened. Again, she was asking me to move back in December. She was going to move back in December 1st, and she was going to pay me the $400 that my friend was paying, and I ended up telling her that that was not fair because she was on the lease and equally responsible.
No, hold on a second. But with this agreement, it states here that she would no longer be responsible for rent, and you had communicated to her that you found someone else to move in, right? At that point?
Yes.
We were trying to get her on the lease. Yes.
Okay, you were trying to get her on the lease, but you found someone else to move in. She moves out and she signs this saying she's no longer responsible for rent. So tell me why you think she's still responsible for rent. I know you're saying then you decide to move back in. How many months later?
Well, she moved out in August, so it would have been about 3 to 4 months later.
What changes for you where 3 months later you say, okay, I'm gonna give it another shot?
Because she's my manager. She has control of my hours. She can take away hours from me like she did.
It's your testimony that you felt that your job was in jeopardy if you didn't move back into this apartment, because she may take it. Where were you staying in the meantime?
I was staying at my mom's. I do have proof of my hours being cut back.
We also added 2 new stylists to the salon, and I had to be able to make hours for everybody. I did not cut her hours. She was still at 30-some hours a week.
I mean, she was your manager when you moved out, right?
And
when
she
you made the
also
decision to move out because you felt it was unsafe, she was your manager then, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
She also specified that seniority would get more hours.
Well, did you move back in?
No, I did not.
Coming up, Judge Faith helps these friends put an end to their feuding.
This agreement that you signed, I'll show it to you. You agree to pay her $3,784.
Yeah.
Did you pay any money towards that?
No, I did not.
Plaintiff Ashley Anderson says her former friend owes her money for breaking their lease early. She's suing for past due rent and various fees. Defendant Felicia Burton says Ashley bullied her on social media and cut her hours at work, making it impossible to pay their bills.
And what happens? You say you have to take out this loan. What is that about?
We had signed a re-rental agreement to try to re-rent the apartment.
Why didn't you move back in if you say she was cutting your hours and she was your manager?
Because I did not feel, I still did not feel safe. But I was trying to be a nice person.
And so you remained at the job and worked with
remained
her?
at that job. And my hours went from when I left the apartment, I was when I started there, to when I lived in the apartment, I was getting 35 to 40 hours like I was promised.
Okay, and so what happens? She doesn't move back in, and you don't have anyone else to move in, and you can't afford the apartment, right? And
Correct.
So what happens?
So I had called Felicia on the phone and asked her, I said, I can't afford this anymore. I said, do you agree with me I'll go get a loan and we'll do the buyout and you'll pay me half.
That means pay off the rest of the lease.
30% of what was left, yes.
Okay. And how much was the loan for?
The loan was for $5,775.
And do you have proof that you paid that to the apartment rental?
I do.
Let me see that proof, please.
After she had agreed to pay that with me and the half of the last month's rent, I did make my own agreement with her as well that she agreed. I also broke down it into a payment plan for her at $315 a month
Because
for a
you're
year.
saying that she's partially responsible because the two of you were originally on the lease?
Yes, and
so she should pay half of this lease buyout that you had to do?
Correct. And she was still on the lease.
And did you agree to do that?
I did, but I did it because I was afraid my hours were going to get cut.
May I see that agreement?
And I
Yes, ma'am.
thought she was going to give me more hours.
It was funny, though, that conveniently 1 week before she was supposed to start paying me on January 1st, she quit. She gave me her 2-week notice. So conveniently, right before that.
I put my 2-week notice in, and then you automatically cut my hours without even asking me.
When did you leave the salon?
It was like late December.
This agreement that you signed, I'll show it to you. You agreed to pay her $3,784.
Yeah.
Did you pay any money towards that?
No, I did not.
And you say she owes you $28.87?
That
Did you sign
part,
that?
Yes, I did sign
Okay.
that. I'm sorry.
for the buyout, yes, $2887.50. And then the half of the last month's left.
You ladies have made a bit of a mess here.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
You say that she broke the lease because she moved out early. You were the first person to break the lease by moving your friend and her daughter in, even after the landlord. And I know you say they were already there. But when you go to the landlord and the landlord asks you for permission to put a third person on the lease, the landlord told you no. She told you no, and that person stayed there, and the person who you're on the lease with doesn't approve. That's a problem.
She did
You were the
approve.
first person. You were the first person that broke the lease. Well, she's telling me today she didn't approve. You don't have it in writing, and you told me your landlord told you no. So in terms of who broke the lease first, that would be you. The second issue... The second issue I have is you're suing for back rent, but then you have this agreement that's in writing where when she moved out, you agree to her moving out, you let her off the hook with this written agreement. I tell people all the time, most of these cases, when I come in and someone leaves, no one puts these things in writing. You're one of the few people I have that put it in writing that it was okay for her to leave and that she didn't have to pay rent after she left. But now you're suing for back rent, and I don't understand why. When you have in writing that she didn't have to pay rent when she moved, and she never moved back in. And then we have this third agreement. You moved out, and you've signed an agreement that you're no longer responsible for rent, and then you turn around and sign this agreement that you'll pay for half of the buyout. This is a binding contract. This is a binding agreement. The two of you made a mess, but you have all of these agreements now, that these breaches that have occurred, and all of these agreements in place now, and I'm going to enforce what I have here. So you then agree to, for whatever reason, pay for half of this lease buyout that she clearly paid. I mean, she has the check. She paid $5,775. I'm not ordering her to pay any of the rent you say she owes because you forgave the rent. I am going to order you to pay half of the lease buyout. I think that's fair. So that's $2,887.50 judgment for the plaintiff.
Today on Judge Faith, an aunt accuses her niece of taking her tablet and then dodging her when she demanded it back.
Your Honor, this got ridiculous. She was calling me, and then her daughter started calling me. Her mama called me. She said it was at her grandmother's. So I walked the 4 doors down to her grandmother's. I text her, Tammy, the tablet's not there. She called me back and called me everything but a child of God at that point.
You called 911?
Yes, that was just an
You know
attempt.
there's 311 for non-emergency calls.
Well,
but
But I was just
it was
trying
an
to...
emergency to you.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor, and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real, and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Vicki Jackson says her niece borrowed an extra tablet and cell phone and now is refusing to give them back. She's suing for the value of her tablet and cell phone. Defendant Tammy White says she owes nothing because she was given the tablet and cell phone as a replacement for the phone her aunt accidentally destroyed. She's countersuing for harassment, slander, and defamation of character.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Jackson versus White.
Thank you, Juan. Vicki Jackson,
Yes.
you were suing the defendant, Tammy White,
Correct.
for $300, the value of a tablet and cell phone.
Yes.
And you were countersuing, ma'am, for $1,500 for harassment, slander, and defamation of character.
That's correct.
I understand that Miss White is your niece?
Yes.
Your brother's daughter?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so give me some background. What has your relationship been like with your niece prior to this lawsuit?
We were fine. We had no issues. We got along great.
Okay, what do you have to say about that?
Growing up, even though her mother stayed 3 doors down from me, literally my house, another house, their house, there wasn't like any strong like ties or anything, and she wasn't even staying there initially. Every now and then they would help out with anything that they had just because they knew the type of lifestyle my father and my mother lived. Once she did come over there,
What do you mean by that?
Well, my mother, they both were victims of substance abuse.
Did you grow up with your parents in the same household?
Oh, well, my father was in and out of prison, and my mama was in and out the streets, but I grew up with my grandmother. My grandmother raised me.
Okay. So let me ask you, how did the two of you end up working together?
I actually employed her.
Job? What happened?
Both jobs.
So what were you doing for a living at the time?
I was actually distributing the government phone up under the it's like a phone program for people who can't afford it.
Okay.
So what we would do is distribute them. Initially, I was working for one company, and I had an opportunity to bring her in. But once I left that company, I told her, like, look, they supposed to take your money up, and then you can start your own team.
So what do? You set up a tent.
Basically, just a tent, and allow people who have different like government programs, and as long as they qualify, the phone is free.
And they get a phone, but how do you make money?
Well, the government pays us just basically to, process a phone per phone.
Okay, and how much do you make per phone? $7 per phone.
Yes,
That's
and
how you get your commission.
Correct, and it was strictly commission. And basically, you build your team.
When you brought her on your team, when she would actually distribute phones, did you get commission from
Yes,
her
ma'am.
distribution? How much commission?
It was $2.
Okay, so you would get $7 for the phone you distributed, and you would get $2 commission
Off hers, and she would get
off
5.
of hers,
Correct.
and she would get 5. So it would benefit you to have people working under
under
you
your
on
team.
your team. Okay, so what was it like when the two of you were working together?
Tammy never received any money for me working up under her because I came in up under the manager who actually gave me $7
Your
per
Honor,
phone.
that's incorrect.
Okay, but when you started, at any point were you under Miss White's team and she was getting a commission from the phones you distributed?
No, ma'am.
At no point whatsoever?
At no point.
There's a point to this because I read your papers and I want to get clarification.
Yes.
But what happened? You say that she thought she was going to get a $2 commission from you and she was upset because she didn't?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
When I talked to my manager, he said, you come up under me, I'll start you with 7. So quite naturally, I said yes to the 7. No one would want to get paid 5 when you can actually get paid 7.
And she was upset, why? Because you came in as an independent contractor, not as a member of her team?
Yes.
Okay, is that true?
No, Your Honor. Could you please ask her the amount of her first check?
No.
Her
I just
first
want you
check
to tell-
was $20.
Okay.
And that was for 4 phones. If she was getting paid $7, 4 times 7 is 28.
Did at some point, according to you, the story you're telling me, she become her own independent contractor getting
At the
$7?
end. True. That's
Okay.
yes.
You say it was at the end?
Yes, ma'am.
So then she's no longer working under your team. My question for you is, did you know that she was going to go to the manager and have a conversation with the manager and stop working under your team?
No, ma'am.
And start working on her own? Were you upset about that?
I was upset about that just because that's not how the protocol goes.
She went over your head.
That's
And
correct.
spoke to somebody else.
That's
and
correct.
Did the two of you have a falling out behind that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's get to the lawsuit. What do you say happened?
She borrowed my tablet and my phone and refused to give it back.
Tell me the circumstances of that.
On June 24th, we had a meeting. She couldn't find her phone. When she came back, she said, Auntie, you seen my phone? I was like, no, go look in the car. It's pouring down rain when we run into the meeting. We get back to my car after the meeting, her phone is laying on the ground in the rain. She gets the phone, she go to the phone store. They say it'll take 3 or 4 days before we can send you a new phone. She said, Auntie, may I borrow your other phone? I was like, yeah, you can borrow it. She came back, she said, I can't do what I need to do because the phone is not strong enough.
What do you mean it's not up to date in terms of
No,
data?
it just don't have enough data to hold the apps and everything that she needed.
Okay.
So to use the hotspot for the phone and use the tablet, she could do everything she needed to do.
Because do you guys use your phone, your personal phones a lot for work?
I do.
She do. I use a tablet.
Okay.
So
what kind
with
of
the
tablet
tablet
is it?
and the phone, it's a Samsung. With the tablet,
What was the conversation that she had with you about the tablet?
well, it was like she's gonna use the phone for the hotspot and the tablet to do what she needed to do.
What did she say to you? How'd you end up giving that to her?
She was just saying, well, can I use your little tablet till my phone and stuff get in?
According to you, she has to borrow this
Yes,
tablet.
until her stuff came in, which would take about 3 to 4 days. When I asked her, after that time had passed, she said it was at her grandmother's. So I walked the 4 doors down to her grandmother's, and me and her grandmother look on the porch to see
You asked
was
her
it there.
what?
I asked her where was my tablet, where was my belonging.
What was her response to that?
Oh, she called me back and called me everything but a child of God at that point.
Why?
That's Tammy.
No, your reaction to that must be, what are you talking about? Why are you upset? I just asked you about my tablet. You said it was at your grandmother's house.
She said it was at the grandmama. She told me don't go down there, don't bother her grandmother. I mean, just
So
all
she had
kind of
told you
stuff.
not to go down there.
Yeah, but this is after I done went down there. She told me don't go down there no more, and I haven't.
Okay. So what's going on?
Coming up, miscommunication adds more confusion to the family drama.
We're in my car. We're pulling off when I look for my phone.
Hold on a second. She tells you she has taken your phone and put it in her car. Now you're telling me she tells you as you're driving away. Which one is it, Miss White?
Plaintiff Vicki Jackson says she loaned her niece the phone and tablet. She's suing for the value of her tablet and cell phone. Defendant Tammy White says she owes nothing because her aunt gave her the tablet and phone. She's countersuing for harassment, slander, and defamation of character.
Your Honor, can we go back to the beginning? Initially, she did give me the tablet, but okay, I was taking down the tent because the tent is big, and I was allowing, because she always struggles with the tent. So I pulled the tent out from the table, and my phone is on the table. I'm allowing her to take down the tables and stuff while I take down the tent. Now, I'm looking for my phone, but this is before we leave. She said, I put it in my car. I said, well, don't worry about it, because I don't want to be late for the meeting.
Wait. Why would she take your phone and put it in her car?
Because she was taking down the table.
Okay, but you're there. Why would she take your phone and put it in her car?
Because she was putting the stuff in the car. We was trying to go to a meeting. I can't use my phone in a meeting anyway. So if you say out your mouth that you put my phone in your car,
So then you go and get in your car without your phone?
We're in my car. We're pulling off when I look for my phone.
Hold on a second. So she tells you she has taken your phone that you use for work to make your living, and she has taken that phone and put it in her car. And you're telling me that the two of you then go and get into your car to go to this meeting, wherever it is, and it's your testimony that you decided to leave your phone in her car that day?
That's correct, because we're coming back to the car.
No, I don't believe that.
And
I don't believe
the truth. Because when I realized I didn't have my phone, we're already at the red light. And she said, well, I put your phone in my car.
No. You told me that she told you while you're taking down the tent that this is what you said. You told me as you were taking down the tent, you have things in your hand, and she's telling you, I put your phone in my car. You said that's what she said. Now you're telling me she tells you as you're driving away. Which one is it, Miss White?
Okay, so we get in the car. We're in a plaza. The light is here. Maybe 2 minutes, not even a 2-minute drive. And I'm looking for my phone. She says, I put it in my car.
That's not what you told me. That is not what you told me.
But
How did you get her phone and tablet in your possession?
Right, she didn't I didn't even, I looked for my phone once we got to the light. She tells me that she put she put it in her car. I'm like, okay. I didn't turn around because I'm trying to get to the meeting on time. That's why I didn't worry about my phone.
What happened?
What she says, we in the car, she's like, yeah, I only did 4 phones. I'm gonna go get my $20 check, but $20 is better than no dollars. I'm like, yeah, that's true, you know, because she only worked one day.
What happened with the phone when you say you got back to your car,
We got back,
ma'am?
her car was here, my phone was next to her passenger side on the ground. This is the same place on the passenger side where the bag of phones she put in the car, the table, tent, everything is right there on that same side. And my phone is on the ground and it's face down. I haven't been in her car.
So you say she dropped your phone and it rained and it ruined
and
your
my phone was ruined. And she said, I have my old phone. She gave me the phone. The phone don't work. So I'm like, well, at least I can use my hotspot. I said, Auntie, can I use that tablet? She said, you can use it. I never heard nothing else about this tablet or this phone.
But she said you could use it.
Yes.
So she didn't say, here's this tablet. I'm giving this to you as a gift because I ruined your phone? Because that's what you said in your answer.
She did. She was just like, you know, you can use this, but it never came back up.
That's two totally different things, Miss White.
She let me use her tablet, but the tablet never came up.
Why are we here? Why have you not given these things back to her?
Because this is ridiculous. She messed up my phone. I had to get a new phone.
Okay, so she's giving you this tablet and this other phone, and she's now asking for it back. Why do you think you shouldn't give those things back to her?
Because the thing came up with the check.
What check?
The second check. Because the first check I got commission from.
Okay, and that's where this all comes back full circle. That's where this all comes back full circle. Because what happens is in July, which is why I wanted to know about this earlier, because this all happens with the phone in June. In July is when you find out that she has gone, according to you, to the manager. And she has now become an independent contractor. As you said, she broke protocol and you're upset about it. So at that point, you decide you're not gonna give her back this tablet. You know she wants it because she's calling you about it. You know she wants it.
She wasn't calling me then. Well, that's what I'm saying. At first, she was not calling me, period, about anything.
Well, actually, no. There are text messages from July. But that's when the check came. That was after the check came out. Ma'am, what happens in July when it's the first time you start asking about this tablet and this phone?
I said, Tammy, did you get your phone back? She says, yes. My stuff, she said, was at her grandmother's.
And who called the police?
I called the police.
Coming up on Judge Faith, did Vicky break protocol or is Tammy just playing by her own rules?
Anybody our age now, our phone is like a magnet. And so if I can't find my phone, I'm looking for it.
This was your way for payback. This was the one thing that you had to keep of hers, and that's what you did.
Plaintiff Vicky Jackson says her niece is being difficult. She's suing for the value of her tablet and cell phone. Defendant Tammy White says she owes nothing because her aunt left Tammy's cell phone in the rain. She's countersuing for harassment, slander, and defamation of character.
Okay, let me hear the phone call to the police. When was this?
The police call was on 7/20.
July 20th, and why did you call them?
Because she still wouldn't reply to give me my tablet back, to give me any of my stuff back. So I'm thinking if I get the police involved, she would just hand it back to me. She still did.
Not Miss White. Let's hear the phone call, July 20th.
And so you're having a disagreement with your niece?
Yeah, she has my tablet. She's had it over a month and will not return it. Will not answer.
How old is she?
20. She may be 30.
Any drugs, alcohol, or weapons?
She smoked marijuana. Still not coming to the door, but I know she's here.
All right, so where are you going to be to meet with the officers? You going to be waiting outside the building, or?
I'm outside the building. My mom is in a handicapped van parked right behind her.
You called 911?
Yes, that was just an
You know
attempt.
there's 311 for non-emergency calls,
But I was just
It was
trying
an emergency to you?
Yeah, trying to get her to just come out, hand me my stuff so I can go about my business.
What is your counterclaim about?
Because, Your Honor, this got ridiculous. She was calling me, like, early in the morning. I drive for Uber, too. So I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning getting on Uber. I come home about 6. I'm trying to go back to sleep before I go to work there at 9. She called my phone. First she called about the tablet. All right, cool. And then her daughter started calling me. I'm going to call somebody from Uber Corporate. You ain't going to lose your job. Her mama called me.
So, Miss White, do you know the easiest way to resolve that is to give her back the tablet?
How did that just happen?
It's just, no, I don't think that's fair. I had to get a whole new phone. Anybody our age now, our phone is like a magnet. And so if I can't find my phone, I'm looking for it.
Which is why I don't believe your story that she told you she put that phone, Miss White, don't interrupt me, that she told you she put the phone in her car before you all left to go to the meeting, because you would have gotten it before you left to go to the meeting. Where's the tablet and the phone?
The tablet and the phone is right here.
May I see those, please, Juan?
And my phone is worth $600 and something, but your tablet is $100 for the 3, and that's not even the 3.
But it's mine. Just return
I mean,
it.
that's cool, Auntie, but what about when I lost wages from not being able to work?
Here's what I think happened. Here's what I know happened. First of all, I do not believe for 1 second that the phone that you use so much for work, that you would just leave it in her car while you went to a meeting. The second thing is, and this is really the most problematic part about your testimony today, you told me that when she gave you the tablet, she said, you can use this. I know, and you know, that she expected to get that tablet back, and you expected to give it back to her at some point. But what happened was the two of you fell out because of work, and you say you lost money because she decided to go over your head and talk to the manager, and you lost commission from her phone distributions. That's when you decided you were keeping the tablet, Miss White. That's when you decided that these items were now going to be yours. And to really top it off, you knew that she was so upset about it and she wanted it, so this was your way for payback. This was the one thing that you had to keep of hers, and that's what you did.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
Can you show me your text messages, please?
Okay.
I have these as well. The text messages from her and her daughter texting me about losing my job.
Let me see those text messages. Well, you're not responding to any of her text messages to you.
No,
you don't
ma'am.
respond once. What are you talking about? You gave me these things. What are you saying? Why are you asking for these things?
I spoke to her in person. I didn't
You
text her.
ignored the text messages.
I spoke to her in
ma'am.
person on more than one occasion, actually.
She's texting you, her daughter's texting you, asking for the tablet. Not once do you
Because I
respond.
spoke to a police and he told me not to respond and just keep my records.
Would
so
you
that's
give
what
those
I did.
items to her, please? They're her items. Not once do you respond. Do you reply
Because
and say,
he told me not to respond.
Yeah,
he told
we're
me
done.
to just
We're done. Your counterclaim for harassment and slander and defamation is dismissed because all I see here are text messages trying to get the phone
what about
back
me
from
losing
you.
my job from Uber and her doing all her
Your
daughter
case
doing
is
all the extra
dismissed,
stuff?
ma'am. Judgment in this case for the plaintiff. You have your items.
It's broken, Your Honor.
Ma'am, you have those items back. You have no proof of what it looked like before you gave it to her. Judgment in this case for the plaintiff.
Well, I really feel like she was okay. I should have gotten something for my phone and tablet being broken. She broke it before she gave it back, but
As long as she stopped calling me and her daughter and mama, as long as they leave me alone, I'm not really worried. I still work. I still make more money than her. She can cry about it.
Today on Judge Faith, a rap artist manager and a Dallas-based music producer come to court over missing music files.
It got to a point where I was not hearing from him weeks at a time. So I called the studio and tried to have the studio give me my music.
It was like a headache going, every time I receive a payment from him.
He's saying he didn't get everything he did in the session.
Right.
Well, why does he have to ask? Why don't you send him everything?
And later, two Texans argue over which one of them should pay for a car crash.
I had gone out on a blind date. It had been raining, the roads were slick. I saw the car in front of me slam on their brakes. With the roads being slick, I slid into the back of her.
Who wears t-shirts and shorts today?
So now you're the fashion police. You don't want to call the police, but now you're the fashion police.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor, and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real, and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Terrence Bennett says the defendant promised to make his artist song a big hit, but then stopped returning his calls. He is suing for studio time and master recordings. Defendant Howard Moore says he doesn't know because he did the work he promised, and Terrence has been provided with everything he paid for.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Bennett versus Moore.
Thank you, Juan. Terrence Bennett,
Yes, ma'am.
you are suing the defendant Howard Moore
Yes.
for $2,200 for studio time and master recordings.
Yes, ma'am.
Why don't you start from the beginning and tell me what happened?
Well, I met Mr. Moore mid-April. I manage a rap artist. We were in the studio.
How long have you been doing that work?
That was my first
He was your first client?
First client. And like I said, I met Mr. Moore in mid-April. He came in, my artist was recording, and Mr. Moore was enjoying his music. He thought that, hey, you know what, this song, I can put that, and I can do the mixing, the mastering. I can record all of that and do that for free at my studio.
So he was offering to do this one song for free to just start a relationship with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, why don't you give me some background on you, sir?
I actually engineer and produce music.
How long have you been in that
I've
business?
been in the business almost 15 years, but actually producing about 5 years. I've worked with some talented national artists such as Mike Jones.
Okay, so you show up to the studio, do you hear him? He's rapping, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So you hear his work, and what do you think?
I thought it was awesome. I actually, I was pleased by his work. Okay. And like he said, I did say I will record and mix one song for free.
Okay.
Just to get some business, you know.
So then you go and you do the free session?
Well, he wanted me to book time with him.
Right, but that's after you have the conversation about the free session, right?
No, ma'am. We had the conversation before I was a free session, so I was.
But you never
got
got the free session, is what you're saying?
Never got the free sessions. He told me first that in recording in his studio, the prices go up. He was going to charge me $60, but the original verbal agreement that we agreed upon was that $60 per hour was going to include mix and mastering.
Nah.
There's nothing in writing, right?
No, man, this was a verbal agreement.
So you understand now the importance of having these things in writing because it's one person's word against another?
Indeed. So we swept that under the rug, and I agreed to go ahead and stick with the $60 an hour. I saw a bigger studio, saw a better opportunity. Thought it was going to be better quality music. And
how many studio sessions did you pay him for?
I paid him for, I think it was a total of 4 to 5 sessions.
Okay, because that's what you're suing for. You're suing for the sessions that you paid him for. So 4 to 5 sessions at $60 an hour?
Yes, ma'am.
You're suing him for that. Why?
In order to get it copyrighted, we have to have the recorded music.
Where's the music? So you never got any of the music from your recording sessions?
No, we got a few drop cuts, but he didn't send everything over.
Where's the music, sir?
He has the music. It's all we use. What I use to communicate with is Dropbox, and it has date stamps and everything. He has all the MP3s. He has all the WAV files. There's 2 different versions of music when you record.
So you're not holding anything back that he recorded in your session?
He has it all.
Nothing.
I have it all on my phone.
And you say you don't have it?
I have a few of the songs. I don't have all of the songs.
What do you say you're missing?
I'm missing 2 songs.
Out of how many?
Out of 10.
He already has them. He's connected with that Dropbox. All he has to go in there and look at it. If he pull his phone up, I don't know if he has a smartphone or whatever, he can look at it. Me and him sharing that. Only him and I can only see
He has
that.
access to that Dropbox?
He has access to the Dropbox.
So why are you saying that you never received it?
When was the
You're
date
on the
set?
Dropbox?
When was the date
See, that's
set?
why I'm not going to do this. He said he doesn't have it, so I'm going to, today before you leave, I want to make sure and I want you to show Juan that you've sent him those 2 songs. I'm not going to go back and forth about who has him not having access and why. So, so those 2 songs you say you don't have, you're going to get them today.
Coming up, were the music files being held hostage for money?
So I called the studio trying to come pick up my music. Oh, Howard Moore owe us money. So until we get our money or you get a judge to summon this, we're not giving you anything.
I don't trust what you said in court here today.
And later, a blind date ends in an unfortunate fender bender.
I gave her my information.
And did you have insurance?
Yes.
You had valid insurance at the time?
Yes, I do. Yes.
At the time of the accident, Mr. Avants.
Yes, ma'am. I'm
What?
sorry.
You thought what?
I thought I did at the time of the accident.
Okay,
yes.
you thought you did. It's not you did.
Plaintiff Terrence Bennett says Howard didn't finish the job. He is suing for studio time and master recordings. Defendant Howard Moore says he doesn't know because he completed the work.
What is next, sir?
Well, we had to go re-record everything. I paid him all this money.
Why? You said you were only missing 2 songs.
Well, we needed those are dry cuts. I needed those songs to be sent to get a mix and master.
Okay.
And because we can't do anything, just dry cuts is just for the legal things.
I
as far as
understand that, but
copyright.
why is he responsible for mastering? Did you pay him for mastering?
We sort of pay. I paid him a portion.
How much?
I paid him $140. Yes.
How much per song was he charging you for mastering?
I think he was charging $40 per song.
And you say that he did not master a single song for you, and you paid him $140.
Yes, ma'am.
To master 3 songs. What happened, sir?
I told him, I sent him the text. I said, hey, up front, for my workers, my guys to get started, I need $540.
To start mastering, 8 or 10 songs.
Right. Mm-hmm. And he only sent me $140 through a credit card, of course, where I had to actually transfer that to my PayPal and pay my guys out of my PayPal account.
Well, let's talk about the mastering. He paid you $140 for the mastering?
Just get started. That wasn't even to get started. The whole payment should have been he was supposed to pay me $540.
Well, okay, I understand that wasn't the whole payment, but he paid you $140.
Right.
So what happened to mastering the songs?
I didn't even start on it because it wasn't even, my guys weren't going to even start working on it.
So he gets that $140 back, right?
Right.
Why,
yeah,
so why
that's why I
haven't you
agreed
given
to
him that back?
I agreed to pay him that $140 back.
He agreed to pay me $105.
So why are you suing for $1,000 for that? You said you got 8 songs out of the 10.
Well, I didn't want to do business with him anymore. I got 8 songs dry cut. And if I'm doing business with him and mix and mastering, I don't need nothing but the dry cuts. But if I'm not getting him to do my mix and mastering for me, we need the whole broken down files. That's what I was trying to retrieve from him. So I called the studio and tried to have the studio give me my music. Because I couldn't, it got to a point where I was not hearing from him weeks at a time. So I called the studio. They had no recollect of who I was and what I was talking about. I mentioned Howard Moore. Oh, Howard Moore owed us money. He only paid us $200 for y'all studio time. So until we get our money or you get a judge to summon this, we're not giving you anything.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
That's not true.
He's saying he didn't get everything he did in the sessions.
Right. He did get everything. Every time we record, he get the MP3 every night.
I mean, I don't understand. You saying you're uploading these files to Dropbox. Is he not communicating with you that that's
Ma'am,
not
I
the
can show you my
preferred
phone
way?
right now where I was texting him day after day, and I wasn't receiving anything back from him. And he said that he was responding back to me. And even if you go before that, but we could just
This
start
guy
right
switched
there.
numbers on me twice. Switched numbers on me twice.
Well, do you have he's writing you, pull up your text messages from June of 2015, because he's writing you and you're not responding to him, and he's asking you what's going on. How's the mixing going? How's the music going? And for 4 days in a row, he texts you, hit me up, haven't heard from you in days. The next day he writes, what's going on with the tracks? You write back, I promise I will call you when I get off. I'm going to refund you your money and send the rest of the tracks. Too much going on in my life. Sir, this is what you tell him. You tell him you're gonna give his money back because you're not doing the work. The work isn't getting done, and you wanna move on with your life at this point. And he replies back, eventually, that they're going on to get the tracks done somewhere else because you're not responding to them. And you clearly know that they don't have all the files they need based on the text messages. I was going to order you to turn over a hard drive with the files, but I don't trust what you said in court here today. I don't trust that you still have access to them in this studio. And based on these text messages, you told him that you would refund his money. I don't know if that meant something had happened between you and the studio owner at that point and you knew it, and you knew you couldn't go back and get access to these sessions, but immediately he's been texting you 4 or 5 days, and your first response is, I'm going to refund you your money. So you know what? That's what you're going to do. I'm ordering you to pay the plaintiff $1,000 for the time he spent in the studio, in addition to the studio time he had to spend getting the tracks re-recorded. Judgment in this case for the plaintiff, $1,000.
I believe he did try to take advantage of me because I am new to the industry. Big fish try to eat the little fish.
I'm gonna notate everything that I have done with an artist, make sure that they pay me right the first time.
Plaintiff Judy Liu says the defendant slammed into the back of her car and now is refusing to pay for repairs. She's suing for car damages. Defendant Bradley Avants says he doesn't know because he didn't damage the car. And Judy's lying to get money out of him. He's countersuing for harassment.
Judy Liu.
Yes.
You were suing the defendant, Brad Avants?
Yes, ma'am.
For $2,500 you say he owes you for car damages as a result of an accident?
Yes.
And you are countersuing, sir, for $1,000 for harassment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll start with you, Ms. Liu. Tell me what happened.
So on the night of May 25th, 2015, it was Memorial Day weekend. I had just dropped my boyfriend off and I was at a stoplight and all of a sudden out of nowhere, he hits me from behind.
At the time of the accident, it's your contention that you were completely stopped
I
at
was
the red
completely
light.
stopped at the red light.
Okay.
And the defendant just hit me. So I don't know where he came from. We got out of the car and he had a passenger with him who was very rude and was like, oh, I can't believe you're even talking about this. It's just nothing. And I'm like, well, he hit me. The defendant was actually polite and admitted like, hey, I'm sorry, you know, I understand, it's my fault.
Coming up on Judge Faith, did Judy overwhelm Bradley with phone calls?
How many times do you say she called you?
I would say 5 to 10 times.
5 to 10 times. And you
Yes.
think that's harassment?
Plaintiff Judy Liu says Bradley rear-ended her car. She's suing for car damages. Defendant Bradley Avants says he doesn't owe because the accident wasn't his fault. He's countersuing for harassment.
What was the damage to your car?
My bumper is pushed in. If you look, I have pictures to show. So this
Sure,
was the
go ahead
accident.
and walk over to the
Well, this is the accident. You can see this line right here. So the bumper is pushed in. like
Okay,
that.
what year, make, and model is your car?
I think it's a 2006.
You don't know what year your car
It's
is?
2006 or 2007 Volvo.
Okay, you need to know what year your car is.
I have it on my insurance card. It is a 2006 Volvo.
So what happens at the scene? You get out, you have a conversation with him, and what?
We have a conversation. He gave me his insurance information, which was like a year expired. And I didn't want to call the cops, and he didn't want to call the cops at the time because...
Why?
Because it was a fender bender. It would take 2 hours for the cops to come.
Right, but now you're in court, and you're suing, and your position is what, sir?
On the night that Judy is speaking of, I had gone out on a blind date, and I was on my way back to drop.
You were on a blind
He's
date?
dressed for a date.
What?
Excuse me?
I'm just saying.
He like he was dressed for a date.
He
How
did
is that
not
relevant?
look like it. I'm just saying.
And you're the person you're the person who decides how people should dress for dates. And so based on how he was dressed, he
I
was
was
on a
saying,
date.
I mean, who wears t-shirts and shorts to a
So
date?
now you're the fashion police. You don't want to call the police, but now you're the fashion police.
Yes, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
So okay,
Thank you, Your
sir,
Honor.
where were you coming from?
I was coming from dinner.
From dinner.
Yes.
And you had been at dinner with a friend, a
Yes.
date?
Yes, ma'am.
You live in a small town,
Yes.
so you were venturing out.
Yes.
So you met this person, had dinner, 3 hours, and you were driving where at the time?
Driving back to drop the date off.
Okay, and so you're in the car, and what happens with the accident?
I was in the car. It had been raining. The roads were slick, and I was driving. Saw ahead of me that the light had turned red. As soon as it turned red, I saw the car in front of me slam on their brakes. Whenever she put on her brakes, I applied my brakes. With the roads being slick, I slid into the back of her, and that's where you can see on her photo, my fender was on her fender.
Well, how do you know that she slammed on her brakes?
Because I was watching her, and I gave her my information.
And did you have insurance?
Yes.
You had valid insurance at the time?
Yes, I do. Yes.
At the time of the accident, Mr. Avants.
Yes, ma'am. I'm
What?
sorry.
You thought what?
I thought I did at the time of the accident.
Okay,
yes.
you thought you did. It's not, you did have valid
Yes.
insurance. So
Okay.
which one is it, sir?
Well, I did not come to find out after she filed with my insurance
Okay,
company.
so you
My
did not have
had lapsed.
insurance. It had lapsed. How
Yes.
many days had it been lapsed, sir, according to you?
1. It had lapsed that very day.
Really?
Yes, really.
It's amazing to me how everyone's insurance had just lapsed right before an accident. So
No,
when
I
you
have-
have a conversation with him about paying for damages, what happened with that?
So he asked me to get an estimate because if he had insurance, I'm allowed to get my car fixed
And you didn't
wherever
have
I want.
insurance?
I had insurance.
What, you didn't want to go through your insurance?
No, because I didn't want the premiums to go up. It was his fault.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
Okay, so you just gave me this estimate. Now, I'm looking at the email chain that you submitted, and you wrote to him and asked him for a sense of how much
In addition,
everything would be and how much it will likely run if there's probably damage under the bumper. And he tells you there is really no way to tell if there is damage under the bumper until or unless they remove it. And there are cases where the damage is minor and maybe less than $100, and then there are cases where it can be over $1,000. He said, I apologize, I can't give you a more precise number. If you want, and you know, what you need to do then in your case, because this is your day in court, is get the car repaired and then bring in a receipt for repairs, but you can't bring in an estimate and tell me it may or may not be $1,000 more than the estimate I'm bringing you, Your Honor. I'm not gonna speculate. So what is your harassment claim about, sir?
The harassment is the voicemail she was leaving me and calling me, and
How many times do you say she called you?
numerous times.
Were you
I
calling
don't know
her back?
exactly how many.
Were you returning her phone calls?
No, I was not, because my insurance company.
That's why she's calling you.
Okay, she's
you
calling me
won't
because
return your
she's
phone
trying to make a
calls.
payday off of the situation.
What proof do you have that she harassed you? How many times do you say she called you?
I would say 5 to 10 times.
5 to 10 times. And you
Yes.
think that's harassment?
After I'd already told her to file it with her insurance. That
What do you do for a living?
I own a hair salon.
You own a hair salon.
Yes,
so you have people who come in and they get service from you, right?
Yes.
They get their hair done?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what if someone doesn't pay you for getting, for you servicing them, styling their hair one day? If you call them 5 times, is that harassment?
No.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Good point.
And the reason she keeps calling is because you're not returning her phone calls. You're ignoring her.
Okay.
Ignoring a person is not going to make them go away if they think you owe them money. However, I do find, given that it was a rear-end accident and the roads were slick, you were unable to stop in time. And based on your estimate of $960, that's my judgment in this case. Counterclaim is dismissed, $964. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
basically, I think karma's a bee, and he's gonna get what he deserves, and maybe that's why he has to drive 3 hours for a date.
Judge Faith's ruling was, I believe it was fair. I still think that Judy got a little bit more than what she deserved. Once again, there was no damage to my vehicle. You could clearly see there was no damage to hers either.